Hey, hey, mamas. Today I have a special guest. Her name is Tiffany Wynn from the Cash In on Confidence podcast. She's going to be sharing with you how to increase confidence and overcome imposter syndrome as a network marketer. Tiffany Wynn is a wife, girl mom, and reformed people pleaser who built a multiple six-figure network marketing empire and coaching business by capitalizing on one thing: confidence. Tiffany took her ambition and instead of letting her business work her, she created soul systems that connected to her soul goals so she could ditch the hustle and grind for grit and grace and build a business that not only filled her bank account, but her heart, soul, and purpose too. We are totally sisters on this, right? The same girl that swore she was unlikable now leads a team of over 3,500 women doing millions of dollars in sales a year. She got bold with her belief, got fierce with her faith, and started taking audacious, aligned action, and she's now on a mission to show other women who may be doubting the potential of dimming their light how they can glow up, show up, and blow up too. So listen on in, mamas, and get ready to be blessed. Welcome to the Abundant Mom Life for Network Marketers show, where we choose to grow a successful and sustainable business from the crazy caffeine-filled comfort of home using flexible productivity strategies that simplify, optimize, and systemize our business and mom life. Hi, I'm Melodie Bishop, a Jesus-loving boy mom, former teacher, turned top 1% network marketer, turned entrepreneur. I believe you can slay your day without being a slave to the hustle. If you're ready to get your time freedom back and design the life you love, you're in the right place. It's time to rise up, know your worth, and live abundantly. Hello, my mama friends. Today I have a special treat for you. My friend and fellow podcaster Tiffany Wynn from the Cash In on Confidence podcast will be sharing with us how to grow in confidence and overcome imposter syndrome in our network marketing business so we can show up to blow up. So welcome, Tiffany. I'm so glad to have you share with us today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Melodie. I'm so excited.
Yes, I am so excited for my listeners to get to know you better because, as you know, they are moms in network marketing just like us who desire a successful and sustainable business and abundant mom life. And I also know that we happen to share a lot in common, like our love for Jesus and our commitment to encouraging a hustle-free, work-at-home mom business culture. So I know my listeners are going to fall in love with you and your mission. So speaking of that, can you share a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, of course. So I am a mom of two. I have a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. So I am in the thick of trying to navigate this new mom life while running a work from home business. So I have been in network marketing for 6 years. I got started when I was a teacher and it kind of fell into my lap. And I have parents that are both entrepreneurs. And so I grew up in a household where I had parents who were able to make their own decisions and run their life the way they wanted to. There were many times growing up where I remember my mom being able to come eat lunch with me at school or drop off the projects that I forgot at home in the middle of the day and things like that, that I picked up on and noticed that other kids in my class didn't have that luxury of. And so kind of in the back of my mind, there was this seed planted that is something that I was going to want when I became a mom as well. And so when I started teaching and I started to see the same kinds of patterns with students in my class, I started to notice when we would have class parties and things like that, the moms who either worked from home or were stay-at-home moms were the ones who were able to be present and be there and be active. And the moms who had to work outside of the home really struggled with having to take off work or to rearrange things so that they could try to be for their kids. And I just knew from that moment that was something I really, really wanted to work for, to be able to give to my kids when I became a mom. And so when I got pregnant with our first daughter and I was still teaching, I was like, well, here it is. Like, this is it. Like, I'm going to either make this work or I'm going to have to figure out a way to be both a mom and a teacher, which was really starting to weigh on me. Even before I had my daughter, I was coming home overwhelmed and stressed and burnt out every day. And I just knew that that was not the way I was going to want to show up for my family, coming home and like crawling into bed with nothing left to give at the end of the day. And so I dove headfirst into my network marketing business from that point. And I told my husband, like, give me a chance to do this. Like, I really believe that I can make this work. And I mean, of course, there were those first few years were not beautiful butterflies of work at home momness. You know, it was a lot of sacrifice and a lot of navigating, trying to figure out how to do it. And eventually I got to this point where I was able to build a really successful business. And now I am just really passionate about helping other moms be able to do the same if that is what they desire.
Oh, I love that. And we share something else in common that I didn't know. I was a former teacher as well. And I was teaching part time just before I started network marketing. And I knew that I didn't want to go back to full time because I knew, just like you mentioned, that I always wanted to be able to be home with my kids. So that's a why that I'm sure a lot of the moms listening right now share. So they can totally resonate and relate with that. And I love hearing stories and learning a bit more about everyone's own unique journey in this industry. And I love how it helps us to know that we're not alone and to really see the big picture of it all. Because, the part of the journey, it takes time. As you were mentioning, the first couple of years, you're trying to figure this whole thing out. And then you finally start to, hey, this works, this doesn't work. And you begin to design a business that you love and find that success. So can you share a little with us about what your network marketing journey has been like thus far?
Yeah, of course. So I am currently with my third company since I got started in network marketing, which I think, is kind of typical for us career network marketers. We kind of have to find our place and find the company, the products that we really can feel confident in. That is something that I stress a lot with women that I work with, is that it has to be something that you are passionate about and something that you believe in. Because if you are trying to market and share about something that you don't fully believe in your own heart of hearts is worth it, then it's going to be really hard for you to communicate your confidence, which I talk about a lot. And we can maybe get into this later, but I talk a lot about how sales is really just an exchange of confidence. And so for me, I got started in the health and fitness industry with network marketing with Beachbody. And I thought that that was going to be a great fit for me because I grew up as a cheerleader for most of my life. So I was, usually very active. I liked working out. I liked, taking care of my health and my body and things like that. But what I realized is that I like doing that for me. And it was just really difficult for me to be able to want to encourage other people to do the same things that I was doing. And so I really had a hard time feeling confident showing up and being like, everybody needs to be doing these workouts and everybody needs to be drinking these shakes and things like that. And for someone else, that might be their sweet spot and that might be what works for them. But for me, I had a hard time with that. And so I ended up moving companies to another health and fitness, health and wellness company with Prove It, which is, keto supplements. And again, I personally loved the products. I just had a really hard time encouraging other people to say things like, keto is the best option for you and things like that. And so I just really had a hard time confidently showing up to share and market those products. And I'm currently now with a company called Closet Candy, which is clothing. And for me, that has been the sweet spot for me. It is something that I enjoy, something that I can show up confidently to share about because it's something that I truly believe is something that I can get behind and be like, when you put these clothes on, you're going to feel incredible. You're going to feel confident in yourself. Like you're going to feel amazing, especially, with the women who I typically connect with, which are other moms who, us moms, we usually will buy our kids all kinds of clothes, and we have a hard time spending a penny on ourselves. And so it's just something that I can show up and just really fully commit to and talk about and be confident sharing. And so that has really been my journey, and just figuring out where I'm going to be able to show up confidently and share confidently. And now with my current company, it's just given me an opportunity to really work through a lot of things that I picked up in other companies, that imposter syndrome and those feelings of inferiority and like I didn't fit in and all of those things. And I think that's something that a lot of women struggle with in network marketing. And so that's something I'm really passionate about now, is helping other women navigate through that, because I really and fully believe that there is a way for, no matter what company you're with, no matter what products you're selling, for you to be able to do this business in a way where you don't have to conform to all of those different things.
Yeah, I love that. And I know that our listeners are totally going to relate to that too. And I love how, God uses all these different steps on our journey to really help prepare us for the next step on our journey, because it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to sit back and reflect and decide whether or not what you're doing currently aligns with the season that you're in and where God's growing you to. So I absolutely encourage that you do that. And sometimes the answer is yes, stay put, keep going, keep doing what you're doing. And other times God is going to reveal to you that it's time to maybe make a change. And sometimes, it's easy to make a change because maybe you've been feeling it in your spirit for a while, but other times you might want to rebel and say, no, God, I want to stay put. This is comfortable. I'm used to this. It's scary, starting over from scratch. And I totally resonate with that as well. I was with the same company for 7 years, and I grew to executive, and God told me, and I have been feeling it in my spirit for a while, that it was time to leave and that I was going to focus on my brand and look for another new company to be with and start building again from scratch. And that's scary. So I totally believe that you definitely have to have confidence. And I'm excited to hear you share a little bit more about that in just a few moments. But I also wanted to talk a little bit about network marketing in the industry as a whole, because I know you've been in network marketing for 6 years and I have been in network marketing for over 7 years. So, that's kind of unheard of. I don't want to say unheard of, but it's not the norm in network marketing for people to be kind of a career network marketer. So what do you think about turnover in network marketing, and why is it so common?
Oh man, this is like one of my favorite things to talk about. I talk about this a lot with my team, and I really feel like the turnover in network marketing comes a lot from women getting into this for one. There's a few reasons. So one, I feel like it's from women getting into the business for the wrong reasons. Yeah. Getting into this because of the shiny objects, because of, the promises of income and wealth, and they see people sharing all of the big paychecks that they're making, and they see the trips that people are going on, they see the cars that people are earning, and they're like, wow, that looks so cool. And they get into this and they're doing the things and they're trying and they're not getting those same results. And so then they're like, oh, well, forget this. Like, this isn't what I signed up for. I signed up for that big paycheck that I was going to get to carry across the stage. I signed up for that trip that, you get to go on with your family. I signed up for this. Right. And so they jump into it for those shiny objects. And because that's what a lot of women in network marketing showcase, is those shiny object things, the trips and the money and the cars and all of those things. And so that is what is attracting women to network marketing. And if I'm being completely honest, that's what attracted me to network marketing in the beginning too. Mm-hmm. I jumped in for the wrong reasons, and it took God calling me out and convicting me to really shift the dynamic of how I was building my business. Mm-hmm. So I think that is one big reason that the turnover is so is because women get into this for the wrong reasons. And when they don't get those things, it's so easy for them to tap out and be like, oh, well, didn't work for me. Peace out, and they don't really lose anything because the buy-in to get started in network marketing is so low. It's not like you going and trying to open up a GNC in the mall where you're going to have to put up hundreds of thousands of dollars. You get to buy a $500,000 usually the most kit. And then if it doesn't work out, you just get a whole bunch of products for yourself that you get to use. So it's not really like a huge loss for most people. And so it's easy for them to just be like, didn't work out, moving on, like cutting my losses, time to go. I think another reason that the turnover is so high in network marketing is because of the confidence piece and that imposter syndrome. I think that when it's not done well, that it's very easy for women to get into this and have their confidence really, I don't want to say destroyed because that's such a strong word. Their confidence really gets shifted when they get into this because they see other women. You're in an industry where you're surrounded by other women now, right? Like women really dominate the network marketing space. And when you are seeing other women around you that often, and that's really what your world becomes, is these other women who are showing up online. Women who aren't even in network marketing struggle with confidence on social media because they see women showing up and sharing their highlight reels, and you start to compare yourself. You start to look at what other women are doing, what they have, how they look, and all the things, and you start to question yourself, and you start to doubt yourself, and you start to think, am I cut out for this? Am I pretty enough? Am I smart enough? Am I this enough, that enough? Will this ever work for me? Right. And so that confidence piece starts to kind of deteriorate. They start to get that imposter syndrome. They start to doubt themselves and they start to question their worth and their value. And it really just stirs up a lot of negative feelings within themselves. And so they end up pulling out because they no longer feel good about themselves. And it's hard to show up online confidently. It's hard to show up online and share yourself when you aren't feeling good about yourself. And so I think that is another reason that the turnover is so high in network marketing, is because of that piece. So I think those two things contribute a lot to the reason why women jump in and then almost just as quickly jump out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with everything that you just said. And it's so true because with my team, my first company I was with for 7 years, our motto was know your worth, because I mean, that's something that we struggle with as women to begin with. And then when you are in a company where you see people succeeding, and again, you have that imposter syndrome, and if you're not strong in your self-worth and in your worth in Christ, then it's really difficult to sometimes you end up beating yourself up for things that might not even be a part of your journey, meant to be a part of your journey in the first place, because everyone's journey is supposed to look differently. We're all growing in different ways. We're all in a different path, and God has a purpose that is unique to every single one of us. So that is so true. And it's so important that as women in network marketing, and especially mothers, that we continue to encourage and support and uplift other women in network marketing so that they can see that, you know what, you can do this. And I really believe that those numbers can change so that there are way more women who are being successful in network marketing and finding, the time and financial freedom that they desire and deserve. And I know that us having this conversation is a really important part of that change and that shift in our industry, and just making sure that our business and our worth is rooted in confidence in who God created us to be. So I know that everyone, no matter how put together someone might seem, or how important someone might seem, or how high they are up in their company, everyone struggles with confidence from time to time. It's not something that anyone is immune with. So I love that you're going to be speaking about that as well. So speaking about that topic a little bit more, What are some ways that someone can become more confident in their business and also not feel like an imposter?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I, like you just said, everyone struggles with confidence in different ways at different points. And I
Mhm.
always tell my team that new levels are going to require new levels of confidence from you as you grow your business, as you scale, as you go through different things in life. I think a lot of times we think, oh, once I get here, then I will feel so much more confident and I'll be able to do blah, 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 blah. But really, it's like you get there and then it's like, oh man, now I have to do these things. And so, like, I tell my team all the time that Tiffany, who signed up for this business and had 0 people on my team, is a totally different Tiffany that has now a team of 3,500 women. Like, I had to step into new levels of confidence as I grew on my journey. And I think one of the things that we really have to do as women of God is to not rely on letting our confidence come from society, come from the world, come from what the society wants us to feel like creates confidence, and really root our confidence in who God says we are.
Yeah.
Because when you are relying on what society determines is confidence, what society determines is valuable, what society determines is worthy, what society determines is success, what society determines is right, wrong, blah, 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 all the things. If that's what you're using as your measuring stick, you're never going to measure up. You are always going to fall short. You are always going to be lacking in some area, in some way. And that is going to keep you from feeling confident, period. Right. But when you use who God says you are as your measuring stick, and you let that be your rule and your ruler for how you're going to show up and what that's going to look like, and how confident you can be, then there is no limit to the amount of confidence that you're going to have. Because when you look at what society says is success, then it's like, oh, the big paycheck is success. Oh, the title is success. The top of the company is success. The top 1%, the blah, blah, blah. Like all of these things that society says is success. But I know you probably have seen this. I know I have seen this. I know I have experienced this. Getting to that top 1%, having that big paycheck, that is not going to be what makes you feel good inside.
Yeah.
I see it time and time again. Women getting to the top of their companies, women making the big paychecks, and still feeling crappy about themselves, still feeling inferior, still feeling unvaluable, still feeling unworthy. It's that, because that is not the measuring stick.
Mm-hmm.
The money, the titles, the ranks, the whatever, the cars, or whatever, that's not what's going to leave you fulfilled at the end of the day. And as long as you use that to determine how confident you're going to be, you're always going to feel like you're lacking something. And so when you let God show you who you are, it allows you to show up with just a new level of confidence that lets you just shine from the inside out. And when you do that, I tell my team that it's like being a lighthouse. I mean, it says it in the Bible that we are the lighthouses, right? And it says that, and I think about a lighthouse being that bright light in the middle of the ocean that helps lost ships find their way. And when I think of myself as being that person who gets to shine my light, who does not need anyone else's approval to tell me if I am good enough, or if I am worthy enough, or if I have the right skills or the right this or the right that to be able to show up the way I am. When you use that, then you do get to do things in the right way, because now you're not just showing up to sign up that next person to help you get that next bonus, or to find that next customer that's going to make you more money. You're doing it because now you're like, how many lost ships are there out in the ocean right now who need me to be shining my light so that they can find their way out of the darkness? And if I can show up like that, how much more powerful will this industry become when all of us are showing up for these reasons, and we're showing up confidently because we know that it's not about who we are, but it's about whose we are, then we're able to just do this in such a different level. And we're able to help so many more people and make such a bigger impact. And the crazy thing is, when you're doing it that way, the other things are going to come naturally. The paycheck is going to come naturally. Those rank advancements are going to come naturally. The title is going to come naturally. You're going to rank advance. You're going to get to the top. You're going to do all of those things. Those things are going to be a natural byproduct when you are shining your light with confidence and you're standing up tall and strong like that lighthouse that you are, attracting those lost ships to you to help you bring them out of the darkness and bring them into the light and showing them how they can now be a lighthouse too. That's how you create a real impact in this industry. And I think that is the key to us shifting the way things are done in network marketing and really doing things in a way that is going to not only bring impact for God's kingdom, but it's going to make such a huge difference here on earth too.
Yes. Preach it, girl. I can tell how passionate you are. And I absolutely love that, because that's my heart as well. And I remember the mindset shift and the shift in my business. When I first joined, I just needed something to help me pay my bills and my student loans until I thought I was going to go back to teaching or going back to being a church worship leader. And God said, it's time for a new ministry. And when I finally realized that God had closed the door on a ministry that had become a big part of my identity for many years and was opening the door to a new ministry. And I began to see my business as such a ministry and began to serve my customers and serve my team. That is when my business exploded, because I wasn't doing it just for me anymore. I was doing it because I knew that God was bringing these people into my life, into my sphere of influence for a specific purpose. And that, I knew that, okay, God, you're doing this and I need to show up. I need to show up and serve in the way that you have called me to serve. And from then on, not only did I have more joy and fulfillment in my business because it became a part of my purpose, but my business actually exploded and it began to grow very quickly because I was being obedient and because I had the right mindset. It wasn't all about me. It was about how I can serve others. And I love to tell people, and I'm sure you do this as well, that, selling, should be serving, serving and selling go hand in hand. And if you're not serving when you're selling, then you're just, another one of those people like at the mall. You know how there's a little kiosk at the mall and they try and sell you these things as you walk by. People don't go to the mall that much anymore, but that's what I think about. You're just another one of those people trying to sell you something because there's no purpose behind it. So I absolutely love that. And I know that that's something that's going to really touch the hearts of my listeners as well. So I just love it. I love it. I can feel the Jesus moments in there too. So yes. I always love to ask every single guest this one question, because so far everyone's been a mom boss who I've had on this show. So as a working home mom boss, what is one abundance tip or piece of advice that you can offer our listeners?
Oh man. So I work from home and like my kids are literally at home with me. Like they are all up in the mix while I am working. And so so one thing that is really important to me is to I try to have 3 separate mindsets or I guess methods to how I'm building this. One is work-life immersion, and then work, and then life. So what I mean by that is I try to have moments where my kids are a part of me working. So I bring them in with me to my business. If I am recording, say, a video for, to show off my products, I'll let my girls come be in the video. I'll come let them do it with me. I record reels and sometimes they're in with me and they're not even doing any, they're just in the background kind of acting crazy or maybe dancing in the back or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I just let them be a part of my business with me. And it's so cool because, like I said, I've been doing this since my 4-year-old was born. And so for a long time, she didn't understand, obviously, what was going on when mommy would get on these kinds of calls and mommy would do these things, but she would hop on and she would sit in my lap and she would wave and say hi and things like that. And now she's old enough where she's starting to understand that this is mommy's work and that this is what mommy does for our family to make a living, for our family to be able to afford, to support her and her sister and our family and all the things that we get to do. And so it's really starting to click with her. And it's really awesome because since she has kind of been a part of my business from day one, now her getting to the part where she's understanding, it's so nice because I feel like I'm really setting this example for her of how you don't have to choose, if you're going to be really successful in your work life or a great mom, that you can be both, that you can have both, and that there doesn't have to be a separation between the two of them, that you can do both of them really well together. And so that immersion has just been really important to me. But then there's also moments where I'm like, okay, I need to put on my boss hat, drop the mom for a moment, and just be able to do the work stuff, just be able to knock out stuff for my business without having, a kid clinging to my leg or, mom in the background or things like that. Like day, I took them and dropped them off with my mom so I can have a day of focused time on my business. But on the other side, I also have moments where I completely shut down business mode and I am just mom. I'm only mom for them. I'm not on my phone. I'm not checking messages. I'm not like doing anything. I'm undistracted and giving them my full undivided mom attention so they know that not only do I work, but I'm also their mommy. And I also get to do things with them. And I also get to be the person who is going to show up for them and be present with them. So those things, having those different pillars, I guess you can call them, with my life and business have been really vital for me and important for me. And I really feel like it's created this level of abundance in all the areas that makes me feel like I am being successful in all the areas of my life, not just one or the other, which I think is really easy to get to that point where you do feel that guilt of, oh my gosh, I'm working too much, or, oh my gosh, I'm with my kids too much and I haven't worked, and so it gives me that harmony of life and business.
Yep, absolutely. And we talk about focus blocks and non-negotiables around here. And I remember there were many moments when my youngest, when I first started, he was 1.5, that actually pretty much most moments was immersion. And, you just have to allow people to see that this is real life, because then they can relate. And if you're constantly showing up and constantly looking perfect and all the time looking, you're unattainable. It's that level that's unattainable. People will look at you and say, well, I can't do that. I can't live up to that. But it's true. You can find harmony and be a good mom and be a successful businesswoman. And your children are watching, because even as a boy mom, my youngest, who is now 8, he constantly says to me all the time that he wants to work from home. He wants to be the entrepreneur. He wants to be there for his kids and be able to spend time with his kids and have his own flexible schedule. And I think that's awesome. I often tell him that I'm like, I know you want to do that, but I'm not sure if it's going to work out for you, because he loves to talk. I think you want to be around people all day. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. You can still talk to people, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, but I absolutely love that he tells me that, because he has watched me from baby. He has watched me juggle all these things and be able to still be present with my family, be able to still have that important time with my family, and also be able to grow a successful business at the same time. And, it's not for the faint of heart, but it's absolutely possible, and you totally can do it. And your children are going to learn so much from watching you do that, so much tenacity and resilience and confidence, so that when they get to be older, they're going to be able to be like, hey, you know what? I watched mom. She did these things. It was hard, but she kept going. And if she can do that, then I can chase after God's, purpose for my life as well, with confidence and with boldness. So I absolutely adore that. And,
Love it.
when they get older and they get to school, it does get a little bit easier, but you have different challenges then.
Exactly. Yes.
So I know that my listeners have fallen in love with you and they're going to want to know where they can find you to connect with you. So can you share where they can find you and follow you?
Yeah, of course. So my podcast is Cash In on Confidence. You can find it on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, all the places where you listen to podcasts. You can come connect with me on Instagram at Tiffany Wynn or at Cash In on Confidence on Instagram. And I have a Facebook group where I love to hang out and get to chat and share ideas and thoughts with all of my listeners. And you can join at TiffanyWynnVIP.com.
Awesome. And I'll be sure to add those links to the show notes as well, so you can go and follow her in all the places. So I just want to say thank you so much, Tiffany, for being a guest on this podcast today and serving my audience. And I love connecting with other like-minded mom bosses and, finding other mom bosses in the network marketing industry who are in the trenches with me, helping to really elevate this industry and also help other mom bosses to grow a successful and sustainable business that they love, so they can just have that financial freedom and not have to feel like they have to hustle to get it, right?
Absolutely. I love it so much.
All right. So thank you again. And be sure to follow Tiffany in all the places. And when you get there, show her some love.
Thank you for listening to Mommy's show.
Hey, Mama, if you found value in today's show, I'd be truly grateful if you take a few moments to hit that follow or subscribe button and leave an Apple Podcast review. You can even share this podcast with your team, because when we work together, we can empower mamas to claim the abundant life they desire and deserve. Come join our Facebook community at Abundant Mom Life for Network Marketers. Can't wait to get to know you.